Hey guys, it is Mike from Baltimore Rides here, wrapping up Saturday, the 20th of January. I am making a video. I did not make one last night. I was just dead tired. I left at like 3 a.m. and it was a good night, about 150 last night, 160. It was a good night. It was a little bit slow at a couple points during the night, but it was fine. Saturday night, the weather was amazing today. If you were not outside today at some point, you were crazy because it was like 65, felt like spring. I'm sure the trees, the flowers, and all the critters in the world were confused as all hell, and they probably thought spring was starting early because it was amazing. Just amazing. And with that, you know, the nightlife in the city was really pretty good. I mean, everybody was out tonight. The bar scene was active. The streets were crowded with people. You know, people were venturing out, and I think that was partly because they were stir crazy. They'd been cooped up with all the cold weather we've been having, and any chance to get out and walk around in the city and not have to wear like 40,000 layers, you know, just everybody was looking forward to it. So it was a good night. I did just under $200, 163 with Lyft, 36 with Uber. So, you know, thereabouts, pretty close, 190 something, 200, just about the right number. And I did not make any of my bonus targets for Lyft. I fell short by like 4 power hour trips. Now look, I'm not blaming anybody but myself on this one. You know, I lost a couple days during the week where I had stuff going on that I just, you know, was incapacitated and I wasn't able to drive. And honestly, my sleep schedule since May of 2017 has been nocturnal. I've been driving nights for so long that my body is really not conditioned to getting up at, you know, early hours in the morning to drive this morning rush hour. So, you know, I don't know what the solution there is, guys. That's going to be kind of a riddle that I'm going to have to wrap my head around because, you know, driving nights is where I make my money. I'm used to it. I know the habits. I know where to be. I know where not to be. And I'm driving DC because DC is thoroughly active. You know, the last couple times I drove Baltimore, I barely made $150, and it felt like it was a struggle to get to that level. So I feel more confident that there's customers and money to be had in DC. That being said, I live too far away to do a morning rush hour in DC, but there's got to be a compromise. So I'm going to have to experiment with that and just play around, because if I can't figure out how to get some morning rush hour trips in, even just a handful throughout the week, there's no way I'm going to be able to make these power hour bonuses. And the $65 level, which is the lowest level, is 30 trips during rush hour. 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours at night, Monday through Thursday. Friday and Saturday, they give you extra time. They give you 4 hours, 5 p.m. to 10. So you got all of 5, all of 6, all of 7, 8, 9, 10. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You get 5 hours on Friday night, and then on Saturday you get 7 to 9 is 2, and then 10 to 11 is, or 10 to 1 is 10, 11, 12. So you get 5 hours on Saturday night. So there's a little bit extra time there, but the problem is that you don't necessarily know what you're going to get. You can get one long trip that can eat up a whole hour. I mean, it just happens. So, you know, there's no guarantee that you're going to get 4, 5, 6, 7 trips in a 2 hour period. Now, if I'm close to DC at night, I can get pool rides. You know, they're called line rides with Lyft, but they're the same thing. They're pool trips. And that increases my likelihood a little bit, because if I get a pool trip and I pick the passenger up before the power hour ends, it counts. even if I don't drop them off until after. So that counts a little bit. But, that's only the evening hours. So, and then the conundrum, really the math problem here, guys, is, so if I get up at 6 a.m. to be out on the road for 7 to 9, okay? Because I don't get any trips in Westminster. So I've got to drive 30, 40 minutes to get close to Baltimore to even get a ride. So I got to be up by 6. Then I work till, let's call it 10 a.m. I can drive back to my house and take a nap for probably a few hours, and then get back out on the road for like 3 p.m. to whenever. But I can't stay out till bar closing because I got to be home, which could take a while, and then I got to get some sleep before I get up at 6 a.m. So I haven't figured that out. Maybe I got to do like a split schedule and sleep 4 hours and then work a little bit, take a nap for 3-4 hours, and then work a little bit. I got to experiment with that. I really do. But I don't know what the answer is there. But I got to figure it out. So, there you go. So I'm still not where I want to be. I did use Uber tonight. I turned it on every now and then, when there was a quiet period and there wasn't a trip coming right away. And I got a couple rides out of it. I'm not disappointed. But at the end of the day, I'm getting more Lyft rides. I'm getting Lyft promotions. That's really the key. Like, I didn't even have boost zones in DC tonight. It was really weird. So, and I know that I haven't done enough rides lately. I mean, I'm skimping out here on my Uber trips. I'm probably doing like 5, 10, 15, 20 a week some night. Some nights it's like 3 trips a night. I mean, it's nothing like the 20 trips a day I was doing, several months ago. But I don't know. I haven't wrapped my head around that. Maybe one day I should get down to the Uber office and just try and hash it out one more time with the person at the office. But until I can do that, I have to dedicate myself to Lyft because Lyft is paying the bills. So that's where I stand, guys. I'm going to sign off because it's late and my brain is fuzzy. But I will be back out on the road tomorrow, Sunday. I got to grind and just work a bunch of days in a row. Until I feel like I've gotten my finances back on track. The stuff with my mom is kind of leveling out. It feels like it's stabilizing a little bit. In the sense that where she is, she's safe. It feels like the social workers and doctors there know what they're talking about. So I saw her today, dropped off some clothes and stuff like that for her. And she seemed like she was in good spirits. She wasn't pissed at me. She wasn't confused, but she was a little confused, but not horribly so. And she seemed to be somewhat content with what was going on. And that's a huge improvement from where she was, a week or two ago, guys. So, so there's that. But, it's still just, my life is just full of drama. It always is. I was talking to somebody tonight and just, some people get it easy and they just have an easy life. They don't have adversity. They don't have challenges. They don't have shit go wrong in their lives. They don't make shitty mistakes. And then there's the rest of us, and we work hard. We screw up every now and then. We don't make good decisions sometimes, and then we have to pay for those crappy decisions. We don't always get the perfect dream job. We have to work a little bit harder than we want sometimes, but you know what? That's life. That's just life. I'm not belly aching here, guys, but I don't think the privileged ones are really the norm. I think they're the special exception. I think we're the norm. Those folks like me and you guys out there grinding, working long hours. Some of you guys are working multiple jobs to pay your bills. We sacrifice more than people realize. We don't see our families. We don't see our kids as much as we want to. We work long hours. We justify those things because we need to take care of our families. We need to pay our bills. We need to do the things we need to do. But some days it's hard. Some days it's very hard. And for the people out there that are the privileged few that have the illustrious 6+ figure jobs and just make crazy money, they're the lucky ones, and they should appreciate what they have. Some of them do not, but they really should, because it's a lot different working the way we work for a living. And my job's not physically taxing. I'm in my pajamas. I've been listening to classic rock all night long. I've had some great conversations with some fun people. I've had some weird conversations, but at the end of the day, my job is, I'm not swinging a sledgehammer on the side of the road in 90-degree heat. I'm not saying that my job is horrible, but we work long hours, we work hard hours, we sacrifice. We don't necessarily always have as much money as we want. Some of us live paycheck to paycheck, and that's life, guys. That's life for the vast majority of us Americans out there. And whether you're born and bred American, whether you're an immigrant who came here, your family came here, it doesn't matter. We all have to work hard. Those special few that don't work hard, they're the lucky ones. But at the end of the day, they're just the exception. They're not the rule. We're the ones that have to work hard for a living. And this government shutdown has, kind of got me thinking about that, because you've got a bunch of people that are wealthy, truly upper class politicians. And most of them had financially successful careers in some other field before they got into politics. Doctors, lawyers, executives, or worked their way up through the political chain, city, county, state, state legislature, things like that. So they've had jobs of affluence and financial wealth, and now they're in a affluent, wealthy position where they're politicians. They don't work long hours. They don't work physically hard jobs. They take tons of days off. They have amazing benefits, and they get paid an amazing wage. And they can't figure out how to do the basic necessities, like balance our budget, so that the people that are out there working hard for a living can do what they need to do. Think about all those government employees, the lowly ones that are not super elite. Like my uncle, who works motor pool in government as a driver, or some of the folks who work in the Social Security Administration or Parks and Recs, or all these different divisions where they're just sitting in a cubicle somewhere typing, or they're out in a car on the field somewhere, or they're public works officials, or they're military. Imagine all of our military troops. They're out there sacrificing their lives to make this country what it is, and to protect it from whatever comes our way. And a lot of times that means nothing, but a lot of times that means horrible stuff. And they do so thanklessly a lot of times, and now the government can't even figure out how to pay them. I don't understand it. I think politicians some days just really don't know what we go through, and I just scratch my head. I really do. I don't always get it. I think the elite, they look down at us, and they look down their nose at us, and they can't really appreciate how difficult sometimes it is for us. Whether you're talking about the tax bill or the budget, government shutdown, or just any of the things that the politicians babble about, but they can't seem to resolve. Healthcare, and that's just crazy stuff. Like my kids have health insurance. I do not right now. It's an expense that I just have not been able to fit into my budget for myself. And I know I should at some point, because I'm 40 years old and, stuff starts to break down sooner or later. But, bills are bills. And, at some point you say, okay, what can I take a risk on? What do I need absolutely, and what don't I need absolutely? So, it's an interesting world we live in. It really is. And I think if our politicians and our leaders had to endure the things we had to endure, they would probably make different decisions. If their health insurance benefits were the same as ours, if their taxes were the same as ours, if their financial decisions were based around the same challenges we faced, would they make the same decisions they make in government? I don't know. A lot of them are silver spooners, either born and bred into money, born and bred into careers, and they can't imagine. I was talking to a young lady the other day. Her parents are both very wealthy dentists, and of course she's going to be a dentist, and they're going to give her her first practice when she finishes dental school. Just give it to her. So, she's going to come out of dental school, which is basically the same as med school, with a lot of debt, but she's not going to have to sign on as some junior dentist at some other dental office and work her way up the chain. She's being gifted a dental practice that's already up and running by her parents. And she'll never want in life. She'll never want in life. She'll never know what it's like to go through the things we go through. So I'm going to wrap it up here, guys, and call it for the night. But everybody have a great night, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.